People, deluded, I'm back again. Now, South American talents. I have to rate Watford for what they're doing. Obviously, you saw with Richarlison, forgive me if I'm wrong, but Pereira's of a South American country, and they've got a couple South Americans dotted about in the squad, and it served them well, and especially the ones that, well, they haven't brought through many from abroad, but I think in a face of where clubs are, it's an impossible battle for the lower Premier League clubs because it's tough enough for the top six. Yes, they've got a lot of money, but they're being held to ransom more or less. There's obviously in-house fight within the top six. Like, clearly Spurs have more to spend than a couple of teams. I know United are outside the top six currently. I had to do it, but they can spend more. They can spend more than majority of them sides. But if you compare Spurs to like City and Chelsea and United, for example, and Liverpool now, they can't spend that, and Arsenal can't neither. I do think Arsenal can afford to spend a bit more than Spurs on a general basis or historically, but how much of that really makes sense now, I'm not too sure. So I rate Watford for what they're doing because they found, especially in regards to South America, they have found something that works for them. Obviously, there's a monopoly of the owners of Watford. There's a monopoly of clubs about, well, that's a strong word, but they own a couple clubs. Social, they own Udinese, or maybe them owners moved on. Admittedly, I'm not clued up on Watford like Watford fans obviously are. But I rate them for it. Obviously, we saw Richarlison, whether it was Watford who brought him in or Marcus Silva who notified the club to his availability and his potential. I don't know. But the man came in for however much money he came in for. Couldn't have been that much. And they made a tidy profit of, what was it, 35 million. The deal in all can reach 50 million. That's very good for Watford. You've seen, obviously, it hasn't quite happened for him at Watford, but is it Peñaranda? He went on loan a couple La Liga clubs. He's someone people look at as having good potential and someone that could possibly be sold on for more money. They've just announced the signing of João Pedro, the young Brazilian striker, 16 years of age. I don't think he can officially join since 18, but he's exciting and has got his own relatively decent amount of potential. So if he can develop for Watford, I'm sure Watford fans would want to see a super player come through their academy or pardon me, be on the springs or frings, better yet, of their first team side and gradually become integrated into it and become a star player of sorts before eventually being sold on for, again, a tidy profit. We've obviously got, I think he's at Hullska, but Chucho Hernandez, 19-year-old Colombian striker. Admittedly, he's not setting the world alight, and I think he's got potential, but people say world-class potential. I'm not too sure at this moment in time, but I haven't watched him religiously. 12 appearances, 1 goal, 19 years of age, so he's not the full package yet as a player. But he does look exciting. He does look like someone that could become a decent household name in European football if he's not to become a top-class talent. So that's around 3-4 names I've said of South American talents from respective countries. What, Peñaranda's from Venezuela, forgive me if I'm wrong. Hernandez is Colombian. You've obviously got a couple Brazilians, and at first team level you've got Pereira. I know they didn't scout Pereira from Brazil, but you get the point, innit? They're firstly identifying some sort of players that can get into their side and of a similar walk, and then they're meeting them with the existing ones, and it's working for them. Like, not even just with these sort of players. You look at the signing of the Core to a degree, players like that have served the club well, probably gone under the radar, and he signed a new deal. But that, again, that could have been a tidy profit. So I like what Watford are doing, man. I'll give praise, man. I'm not saying they're like Ajax and they're like Monaco and them sides there or can. I'm not saying they're doing any of that. I'm just saying, like, yeah, man. Few people would hail at Watford for that, and it's nice to see that at least some people behind the scenes at Watford are trying to be proactive in terms of finding a strategy to trying to help them make use of the transfer market in the current face of what it is at this moment in time. So there's nothing more to say. I can't praise that, to be fair with you. On that note, there's nothing more for me to say. So people, deluded, I'm out. Comment, subscribe, and do the rest if you wish. Deluded.